Hello all, welcome back to the next one. In this one, we're gonna practically implement the data-driven testing approach. So let me just first bring up the website. So I wanted to show you the scenario first. What we were doing till now was we were looking for the JavaScript course and then we were clicking on this course. Once we click, we were clicking on the enroll in course button. Finally, we were scrolling down, entering in all these details, and then click on this submit button and we verify the message. Now we want to repeat the same test case in the same method. So how can we search for the Python course or Selenium WebDriver course or some other course? We need to be on the all courses page in order to be able to search for the course. Isn't that correct? For that thing, we need to add one more step. We should click all courses button. And then we're going to be again back to this page, and then we can click on some other course, and then we can again click on the button, repeat the steps. Again, the same steps we can simply repeat and then click on this button. And for the next course to be verified, we need to again click on the all courses link. So this is one, clicking on all courses link is one additional step that we want so that we can be on the main page and we can search for the courses. So let me just bring up the PyCharm and let me just show you. So this was our register courses class that we wrote, and this was our test case. We were providing all the things static in the test code itself. To keep this guy intact and so you have a copy of this, what I've done is I've created the copy of this as register courses multiple dataset.py, and in this file I have just copied the same code. It's exactly the same code. I have not made any changes. Exactly the same code. The changes are something that we will do right now. So let me just maximize this file. The first thing we need to do here is we need to import the DDT. So what I'm doing here is from DDT, import DDT data unpack. I'm importing these three things. And we need these three things to create a data-driven test. We need to use the DDT decorator, and we will talk about it for the test class. And we need the data and unpack decorators for the data-driven test methods for these guys. So let me just first put it. So what do I do? I need to put @DDT on the top of the class name. So this is the class name. I need to put @DDT on the top of the class name, and then I need to put @data decorator for the method names. So @data decorator takes the arguments equals to the number of values that we want to provide to the test cases. So how many values we want to provide to the test case? One is the course name. We will provide the full course name here itself. That works for us. So one is the course name. This is again same course name. Then credit card number, credit card expiration date, and the CVV. So we have total 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 data basically. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have basically 4 data sets that we want to provide. So @data will take the arguments equal to 4 for this particular scenario. If you have more data that you want to provide to the test case, you need to provide more data to that guy. And these arguments could be single values, it could be list, it could be tuples. And when we use list and tuples, we have to use unpack decorator, which unpacks the list or tuples into multiple arguments. So we will just take a look at that right now. So how do we do that? Data, and under that I'm going to provide a tuple, and in this tuple what do? I will provide the data that I'm looking for. So I'm going to say this guy, JavaScript for beginners. Let's just use this. And once this is done, after comma, I want to provide the credit card number, then the credit card expiration date, then the CVV code. So this is our first data set. If you see in a tuple, we provided the first data set. After comma, we will create another tuple. So you know what? First, let me just try to run this code with one data set, and then I'll add another data set. So once we added, there are 4 arguments. There are 4 data sets that we want to provide to this test case. So I'm going to add 4 argument names, variable names here. The first one is course name, this guy, And we need to be careful, right? We are putting 4 data sets. We need to be careful with the order of the arguments as well. So course name, cc num, cc exp, and cc cvv. Now what we can do is we can just replace these things. This JavaScript thing, we can just replace it with course name. Then we can replace this guy because we're using the same thing. We can again replace this with course name, and this 10 in front of num we can replace with cc num. This 1220 again we can replace with cc exp, and then finally with cc cvv. So what's going to happen, guys, that these values will be assigned to these variables in order, and then we are using these variables to use in our test code. So this unpack decorator, we will use the unpack decorator here. This unpack decorator, this guy, this is going to help us with this thing. It's gonna unpack all the tuples or list into multiple arguments. So these guys are unpacked using this unpack decorator. So this is our complete scenario. That's what we want to do. Next thing we want to do here is, after that, we actually want to I'm just going to use self.driver because I don't have this thing in the framework. We can put it in the framework. We can create a navigation class. I'm going to tell you about what I'm talking. So we're going to go to the all courses page, right? So driver.find element by link text. I can just do that, and the link text is all courses. So I can just simply do that. So I reach back to the all courses page after the test, and then I can repeat the same test, and I will later put it in some other place, and we can actually move this guy to the framework, and let's discuss about it later. So for now, let me just bring up the terminal, and let's just try to run the code. So I'm gonna say export the Python path and py.test-s-v and test courses, register courses, multiple dataset --browser equals to Firefox. Let's just run this code, and the only change we did is we moved the arguments here, so we don't have any hard-coded data in the test case, right? So this is the change we made, and later we will run the same test for multiple test cases, multiple data sets. Should bring up the browser, and it's gonna quickly log in and do the same steps, no changes. So if you notice, it's gonna go there, enter details, and finally it just verified the complete test case, right? I think I made a mistake here. That's why I didn't go to the login page. I found the element, but I didn't click on it. So that's a silly one. That's it. That's okay. So we just saw that we were able to reach to the final page. We were able to register the course exactly the same way we were doing previously, and now we replace them with the arguments. So we were able to verify that this @data and unpack thing is working. Now let's add more data set. That's what the target is. That's what the goal is. So after comma, I'm going to create one more tuple, and in this I'm going to put another course name. So learn Python 3 from scratch. So this is the name of another course, and let's enter another data here. So I'm gonna put 20, and maybe again 1220. I can put the same one, and then next one is again 20. So I'm just changing the data set a little bit, not much changes. The goal is to see if we can run the test, and this time we added the click as well, so our test should run twice, and that's what we wanted to see, right? So let me just bring up this guy and clean this up and run the test case. So it should bring up the browser. Just pay close attention, it's going to run twice. So let's see that. JavaScript course, it's doing the same thing, and this time it's going to go to all courses, Python, and it's doing the same thing. Pretty good. Awesome, right? That's what we wanted to achieve. That's what I wanted to show you, that we can run the same test twice. And this is one thing I wanted to show here. So it's the same test case. There's only one test that we wrote here. If you notice, there's no two test cases, only one test case. But if you see in the terminal, what DDT does is, this guy is super smart. It breaks the same test into two test cases. So first one, it names the name of our test invalid enrollment. 1, it adds 1 because it's running it first time, then adds the parameter names to it, JavaScript for beginners, 10, 12, 20, 10, and running the test again, the same thing. Then it has broken the test in two tests basically. So the first one was this, the second one is test invalid enrollment 2 because it's running it second time, learn Python from scratch, Python 3, and then all the data it appended. So it actually internally creates two test methods for one test method that we have, and it just gives them different names based on the order and the argument list, and then it runs it twice. So that is something beautiful. It's really awesome, and it takes care of everything for us, and it's really smart. That's what I wanted to show you guys today in this class. Please practice this one, download this code, refer to it, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next lectures. Thanks for attending this one.